maiden voyage of Takie Buty podcast.
Hmm.
I'm Małgosia or Margie.
I'm Dorothy or Dot.
I'm Jeff or Tata today.
Ta-ta.
Well, I'm Tata all the time, but
You are.
And for those
she,
who don't know, tata is dad or father in Polish.
Hmm.
And we are the Tomczyk sisters.
We are.
Um, and
and I'm not. I'm
and yeah, the
You
two of
are.
us are the Tomczyk sisters.
I'm the
Uh,
driver. I'm the designated driver.
Yes, yes.
And we thought that it would be fun to start a podcast to check in with each other and share our stories of growing up Catholic and Polish in the Chicagoland area.
Yes. It took up, growing up Polish was a big part of our lives. I mean, it kind of, I think, molded us to who we are, who we were, and who we will become because it's always there. I mean, just the values we were taught and all like the little things we did when we were growing up will always be there with us. So we wanted to share it with you. We had fun growing up Polish Catholic and I think we want to share it. Yeah, I guess the best thing to
Yeah.
do is to share it.
Yeah, I think I mean, we talked about this as we were planning for this, but one of the other reasons I wanted to do this was because I think everyone has a story to share. I think everyone's voice needs to be heard, and I thought this would be a good way for us to record our short stories. Boy, I'm having a problem with the S's today. Um, Record our stories and be able to share them with our family and friends, and maybe a broader, larger community out there.
She tried this, gosh, how many years ago? Probably pre-COVID. We grew up with a very close group of friends, and she tried having everybody to share their stories. I mean, by cl tight, close group of friends, we did everything together up until probably about high school, would you say? Like even
Yeah, and
even in high
even
school.
even in high school and college, one of the friends moved away for high school, and so during the school year, we were all going a little our separate ways. But when summer hit, um, we spent all our time together. Yeah,
And
yeah.
they, it was such great times that my sister, I'm the younger sister, Margie's the older
Older
sister.
sister.
So she's tried to make a book she called it Jello Cheesecake. Our mom, it was like a delicacy for special occasions. She made this cheesecake that had Jello topping on it. And so the book was called Jello Cheesecake. And there was a group of how many? Five of us, six of us, that the book went, it was a book you're supposed to put stories in there to kind of so we can reminisce. And so I think the stories can always be there for someone who read the book. And it went through a round. It kind of lost one of our friends was the couple guys in the group that were friends. They're kind of not as diligent about that. Where did it end up with Rich or with Ed? I can't remember.
I
Ed?
mean, everybody got it. They seem people held on to it longer than I think I originally anticipated. When I first thought about starting this, I had a story I wanted to share. So that was the first story, and it was about a particular person, included most of us in the story, but it was about a particular person. And then I mailed the book on to him. He held on to it, wrote his book or wrote his story. We passed it around for a while, but the second go around for filling in the stories, it just started to sit a little longer at everyone's home. And we all have busy lives. This was my passion project. So I was always quick at writing things. I knew what I wanted to say ahead of time. But for everyone else, it might have been a time for them to have to really think about what they wanted to talk about. So I still have the book
Or do you
to
have so
submit
to
this.
ask who
I
has
still
it?
have the
Okay.
book. I still have the book. I actually flipped through it a couple weeks ago as we were getting ready to record this.
Oh,
So it still exists. It may go out at some point again when I get inspired to write something, but yeah, it's again, it's a way where I wanted us to record our stories
and
for
reconnect. We
sharing.
all live different places, so it was kind of
Hmm.
hard to connect a lot of times. And so it just is a little connection that we'll always have. I look good in these readers. They're kind of cheap readers, but I kind of look kind of nice. But Um, but why did you come about with Take Butte? My sister Margie, she came up with the name. So this is how the whole
Actually,
story of a podcast started was whenever we're together, we get together probably like twice a year. We can just talk about the stupidest stuff like for hours. Tata is usually our straight man, and he kind of has to listen to our chatter, but like we can act as if we've seen each other last week. Like it's kind of a nice thing that I don't think a lot of sisters have, but I think we have it. I think it's the way we were raised, the way we were brought up. That was one of our mom's big fears when she passed away, is are you still going to be friends with Margie? Like that was a big thing. So it's kind of nice that we're doing this. But I don't know where I was going. Menopause brain.
yeah, I
Oh,
know.
so
That's why I have everything written down.
That's why I'm
so
taking notes.
so anyway, we this last time she was in on this past June, my husband turned 60, so we were at a party, but we were driving around, and we were again in one of those times where we were in a car, and we were just talking like about like one topic to the next topic to tech, and we turned to each other, we should do a podcast. So, and then like it kind of took a life of its own, and so then I were trying to think of names, and so go ahead now, go ahead.
Well, so the other part of that is while we were in Chicago in June, the weather was so Chicago weather. It was
Yeah.
hot and humid, and I have moved out to the West Coast, so I have lost my ability to be outside in humidity. So we spend a lot of time inside, which was great because the Cubs are on. So we got to watch I got to watch a lot of baseball. But Dorothy had not seen the TV series Nobody Wants This.
Oh yeah.
And so and that's a podcast, or that's a series where the two sisters have a podcast.
I
So
just interrupt you. Do we have to do something because you mentioned that name?
There we go. Ding. There we go. Ding.
I don't think so. I mean,
Oh,
we're
Well, I
just
think they're
talking
gonna
about a
like
thing
it.
we're doing.
I think they're gonna like it
okay,
because
okay.
we promoted their show.
Sure,
Okay, sorry.
sure.
That's what I'm
Um,
saying.
so we then we binge watched it, and then like Dorothy said, we had these conversations, and we decided this is something we want to do. But so Take Butte, I don't know that it was just my idea. We had gone out for ice cream at the place in Highland, and we were running through different names of Polish sayings, mostly because we had talked about wanting to talk about growing up Polish and Catholic. And so we came up with Takie Buty. And the thing I always thought of with Takie Buty was it was the Polish version of cheese. So that when you're, getting ready to take a photo, you're gonna, instead of saying cheese to get the smile on your face, in Poland, among our family, we say Takie Buty. And you've got that same expression that cheese gives you. So we just decided, let's try Takie Buty podcast, and no one had the Gmail account or the Instagram account or any of those. So we just decided that would be the name of it. I did look up what Takie Buty means, like as a slang phrase, and using technology of AI. The Polish phrase "takie buty" is a slang expression used to indicate that one has just realized or understood something important about a situation. The literal translation of the phrase is "such shoes," but it's an idiom that carries a different meaning. So, most often used to explain something like you'd say "takie buty" when it's like, "Oh, so that's what it is," or "Oh, now I get it." So instead, you'd say "takie buty."
Interesting.
Takie Buty.
There you go.
So that leads into a lot of things because, growing up Polish was for sure Margie's, well, my first language too, but Margie, like even going into school, Małgosia, even going into school, that was her language and everything. But as we got older and we learned the English language, we would kind of make fun of our parents a little bit with some of the sayings because they were from Poland, the way they would say American things or how they would be half Polish, half English when they would talk to us. So Takie Buty means a lot to us, I think, just because it is like bring up the Polish thing, but kind of makes me laugh a little bit because like my mom, I don't know about my dad as much, but my mom would get a kick out of that probably just because it was still Polish, but it's kind of a silly Polish thing and stuff. So
Well, and so we grew up in a town called East Chicago, which is in Indiana, just across the border from Illinois. So that's why I mentioned the Chicagoland area. And it was a small steel town in Northwest Indiana. That, when we were growing up there, supported just a lot of different immigrant families. And like Dorothy mentioned, I didn't learn English until I went to kindergarten and started to make friends outside of that Polish community that we had. And, there was a girl who I grew up, I mean, we're still friends to this day. We grew up three houses away from each other. And she'll tell you, she helped teach me to speak in English, right?
I knew
Because
that. I didn't know that. That she taught you to speak English. I didn't know that.
I
I've
mean,
heard
I
that.
think it was just, yeah, I heard the story.
You
I
heard
heard
it
the
once? Only once?
Yeah.
we heard the story at the wedding this
Wedding.
summer. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Um, yeah. So I mean, but it was part of like, going to school, learning. Well, and so I think you being younger than me, I remember like I mean, we both grew up. The grocery store was Polish. The bank was Polish.
Yeah.
The church was Polish, right? So that was our life. And I'm not even sure I knew anyone spoke anything other than Polish or was anything other than Catholic until I sort of broadened outside of that area. Um, Sort of moving into the future, I remember the first time I took Jeff to the Polish section of Chicago on Milwaukee Avenue while we were dating. And he was just blown away by the fact that every sign is in Polish. Everyone speaks Polish at all the stores there because that's the community that lives around that area. So,
They didn't have it in Milwaukee? I would think they'd have, or you just never went to
Yeah,
it, probably,
not
right?
really. Yeah,
So Jeff
not
grew up in
really.
Wisconsin. So Margie and Jeff met actually at a steel company, right?
at a
So
steel
yeah, we were
mill.
talking about where my dad actually worked at. It was kind of like Margie worked there and Jeff worked. It was kind of neat. But anyway, so Jeff is from Wisconsin, but moved down to the region, which what we call our area of Northwest Indiana. And they met. It was true love. It was meant to be. It was fate.
It was
We were set
fast.
up.
We were
We were
set
set
We
up.
up
were set up.
by
Yeah.
God.
No.
Mm.
By which was, I mean, like they probably shouldn't have done this, but we were set up by the HR department at the steel mill. The HR manager was talking to Jeff and the HR secretary was talking to me. And so
Can you say
Little
their
did he know.
names?
Can you? I'm sure they
Bob,
don't care.
Bob Kelly.
He set you up?
Yes.
Bob and
He
Ah,
Faye.
said, that's right.
well, I can
Yeah, Bob
see a
and Faye
woman
set
setting you
us
up,
up.
but I would never see Bob Kelly setting you up. That's kind of cool.
Well,
Yeah.
nice
You know
guy.
what I mean, I think they had an ulterior motive. I think they wanted to keep Jeff on there as an engineer. So they figured hook him up with a local girl. Then he's less likely to move.
Wander.
Yeah, little did they know that 4 months after we got married, we moved to the West Coast.
She,
So
Yeah,
not
yeah.
sure their plan worked well for us, but I'm not sure it worked well
Oh, it probably
for
worked.
this
I mean,
steel
how
mill.
long you guys were together for? How like engaged and dated for a while? So like, I probably kept him in there for those years, you know?
Oh,
Like,
the
did
only
you know,
reason.
Jeff? I guess like to get your point of view. So when you met Margie, but then you met my mom. My mom was this
yes.
little woman. She was like 5'2", and she was
Hmm.
just full of Polish Catholic guilt and just love of
Yes.
her family. Did you?
Yes.
What was your impression the first time? It's kind of interesting to hear.
Well,
We grew up with it. What did you think when
I
you first
I
met
always
her?
I always had the feeling I was not necessarily um I was under a microscope most of the
Yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah.
And but
Oh,
unwelcome, no.
Jeff. Oh, Jeff. Oh,
I never
Jeff.
felt I never felt unwelcome. And I gained like 20 pounds instantly. And
So, in case people
and
don't know, Polish people show their love through food. Like
that's right.
all the food
Like
they can give you, they want to
like
give you.
no other culture in the world.
And
Oh,
that's
that's
and
neat.
that's and that's really stuck with Dorothy and me because as Dorothy and I have talked about, when we're done eating breakfast, we're thinking about what's for lunch.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. And
We're done
people
with
laugh at me
lunch.
when I say that. Yeah. Like I had my root canal done yesterday, and like the dentist has asked me, so is it a lot of pain? I'm like, no, I can't eat. I can't eat on that side. This has been driving me crazy for 3 months. I cannot eat the food I want to eat. So please fix me. I don't care about the pain. I want to eat. Oh, that's interesting. So very nice. Yeah. So then Jeff got he got absorbed into the Polish because you did. I mean,
I did.
I mean,
It was great.
it's a lot. It was a
I mean,
lot.
if there was ever any hesitation or anything negative, I couldn't perceive it. I
Oh,
mean,
that's good.
I kind of knew the whole. I mean, my name is German. My family was not around during World War II, but there's always that one eye open, like,
Yes, our parents grew up in Poland. Their families were from like a small village, Lubochnia, because they both families were there, right? Like Tata grew up there too,
Hmm.
right? My
Hmm.
mhm.
Tata, not this Tata.
Yeah.
And they knew of each other, but they never really dated or anything. But then World War II happened, and like my dad got put into the war. He was of that age, and I think if I remember the story right, like didn't he fight for like he got like captured by the Germans and somehow escaped and ended up with the French, and then
Yes.
somehow the U.S. saved him, and then that's how he became. I think that's how he came to the States. Actually, he was from the war. And
Hmm.
then I think he was married, got divorced when he got to the States, right? But he wanted kids. He never had kids with the first marriage. So he went back and to my mom, back to Lubochnia, back to Poland. And it was kind of a setup, no? I
I
don't
think
know.
so. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like
There
an
must have
I
arranged
think they
been
were
marriage.
set up too.
Yeah, yeah.
They
there
were
must
set
have
up
been
too.
there must have been some charm involved.
I don't know. No, I mean, I think Tata specifically went back to Poland to get a wife, right? I mean,
Yeah.
and so he
A
had
wife.
whatever, what's that?
A youngish
And
wife that could give him children. Because my
yes,
dad was old. My
yes,
parents were about
Oh,
20 years of difference. There was 20
yeah.
years age
right,
difference.
right.
But that was one thing he always wanted in his life, which is kind of neat after living through a war. He still wanted to have kids.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom, I believe she took care of her ailing parents. So she never
Mm-hmm.
really got married. She took care of her sisters and everyone. So then when he came back to Poland, they're like, hey, we got this woman over here. And he's like, does she want to go to America? Because my dad, I think, wanted to always live in America because I think he already worked at steel mills. Does that
Yeah,
sound
he
about
was
right?
I
no, I
think
mean
so.
Tata, yeah, was in America already, and he went
Yeah.
back to Poland. And then, I mean, in my understanding of like the first time he went to meet her, she like didn't pay any attention to him and kind of just blew him off, and he left. And
Yeah.
he's like, I don't know what you guys are talking about, but she has no interest in me. And they're like, no, 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 we'll go talk to her. She does, try it again. And I don't know what magic happened. I don't know what he said or what she said,
How many
but
chickens were tossed back and forth?
Yeah.
yeah, was there a dowry that was offered? No, but they got married, and they because Tata was already divorced, they only had a civil wedding. So for a future episode, Dorothy and I will talk about our mother and our weddings.
Yeah. Or you
And
mean her second and third wedding?
and then I've only had two to the same person. And
No, but
then
I'm saying like Ma's second wedding was your wedding. Ma's third
oh yeah,
wedding was
was right.
Oh,
my
But the
wedding.
first like church wedding and like real
Yeah.
wedding, right? So,
Yeah.
and then Tata came back
Vegas
to the
now.
US, and back then you had to request permission to have your wife come and join you. So I think it was like a year later that she came out to live in the US. And of their families, they're the only two who have emigrated to anywhere really, other than I have a second cousin who emigrated to the UK, but otherwise they're the only ones who emigrated. And I don't not until you get to the age where your parents were, or think about it in retrospect, do you think about how brave she was, right? She married this man she didn't really, I mean, she knew the family, but she didn't really know him. She left to move to a country where she did not speak the language, right? And
Mhm.
then made a life for herself. And I
Yeah.
don't think she ever regretted it.
No, I don't think so.
Hmm.
That's why here we are.
But just imagine, like, do you ever send me the Dropbox thing that you want, your address, your Dropbox or your drop something
I
address?
Oh,
will.
I
Yeah.
thought you were going to send it to Steve.
I didn't get around to it.
Oh, okay.
So just do it because when you look at the things, like, I mean, because it was poor in Poland at that time. And so she comes to the States and she has like her little dresses and, they're driving cars already. This was like in the 60s, early 60s. So
Hmm.
it's kind of nice. She really did trade up, you know what I mean? Because it was in
Hmm.
Yeah.
Poland, she really didn't do anything. So maybe
Well,
she saw like I mean, I'm not a traveler, but like you guys were travelers. Like you did the same thing. You followed her path, right? Like you went to the Pacific Northwest, not knowing anybody, not really doing. You guys went off on your own. So it's got to be
But we
something,
spoke the language. I
yeah,
mean, other
I
than
know,
having
I
to
know.
learn how to say the word
sort
Oregon.
of.
But I wonder if Tata had sold it to her enough, like, hey, there's a bunch of Polish people. We're going to a Polish community. Everything is Polish there. But yeah, she had like learned the streets. So she went from like a village, like a country village, to like East Chicago. It wasn't like it's not like Chicago, but still, you know what I mean? Like yeah, whole. And she got, then she got married. She got well, she was married already, but like pregnant, had kids right away, and that's a
Hmm.
whole different area too. So
Yeah, but
thank goodness,
actually, let's go ahead.
thank goodness, like the Smudas and the Furmans and like the Tabuas, the Zviej, all those people and stuff. These are
Yeah,
all
all
like
the
last
people.
names of people that we grew up with. Like we did everything with Polish people. We did nothing except for maybe friends stuff, like when we got to school age with non-Polish people.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, what was I just thinking of that you had talked about? Um,
Dresses, the clothes, Niagara Falls. They went to Niagara
oh,
Falls all the flipping time. That's like their
more
go-to
than
place.
once? I mean, I know
I
we
don't
went there
know.
once as a family, but I don't know. I didn't know they
The
went
video
there more
shows
than
Niagara
once.
Falls.
Maybe
So
that was their
Oh,
honeymoon, right? I mean,
yeah,
who
maybe.
knows? Yeah, yeah. Oh, I know what I was going to say. So early on growing up, we didn't have a car.
Mhm.
So if it wasn't done on foot or on bus, or there's a great train system between, where we lived in Chicago, on the South Shore. But even before, growing up and traveling to Chicago, I mean, our parents, when we were really, really young, used to go to Gary, Indiana all the time because Gary, Indiana was a hopping town. And if you didn't want to deal with a city as big as Chicago, you went to Gary for everything. So,
I don't have
you
any
know,
memories of that though. Do you have memory? I remember
mm-mm,
some, like maybe like vague memories of. I remember sitting at like a deli stand eating burgers when we went to Hammond. Do you remember
hmm.
that? Like I remember, I just remember that. I don't
mm-mm.
know if that was at Minus or if that was like at some other place. That's all I really remember.
Yeah, so I remember like going to Gary, what I remember is going to the beaches, right?
Oh yeah,
Because
yeah.
you'd go
I
to
don't remember that.
Marquette Park. Marquette Park was great because it had the area where the sand was, and then you'd cross the street, and then it was the area with all the trees, so that's where you picnicked. But when you wanted sand time and beach time, you'd go up there. So I remember that. I don't know that we went to Miller, or we might have gone to Miller too.
Oh my God, you should
And
be, that beach is gorgeous now. I went there for the air show and they had like a bunch of food trucks. So I went this past year. It is gorgeous. They have done such a nice job of beautifying that whole area and stuff like that. It's really nice now too. Sorry.
wow, even like so, even expanding what they were doing to renovate or not, but just bring in businesses.
It's
Or
just
is it
Marquette
just, are
Park.
you just,
Just the
oh,
park,
oh,
just the beach itself. It's
oh,
like you don't have to go to the dunes anymore. Like you could just like
Hmm.
we just it was gorgeous. And we should go next time you guys come in, whenever you guys come, if it's like it's closer, obviously, but it's like a little walk from where like good friends of mine live. And it wasn't bad. It was, I mean, it was beautiful. Like I'm like, holy cow, they really, really have done a nice job cleaning this area up and stuff. So
that's nice. That's
yeah.
fantastic.
and and it's not far from the national park, in case you want to do that.
Indiana
Correct,
Dunes
correct,
National Park.
correct, correct,
Right.
correct, correct. I get to
Ding.
this weather, this summer was so crummy. I always wanted to go to like the pavilion, the restaurant. And I didn't make it this year. Like we went there just like last weekend, I think we went. We took the
Hmm.
dog out there and it just, I'm like, God, I always wanted to go here. I just forgot because how crummy the summer was. It was so flipping hot here. So yeah.
Yeah. And we had heat here, but there's no humidity. So you run the air conditioner just to cool off, and then it's fine. You can be outside. People out here were complaining about how hot it was. It's too hot to go outside. I'm like, no, it's lovely. 90, but no humidity. I mean, I don't mind
Hmm.
the heat. It's the humidity
Yeah,
I can't
I agree.
stand anymore.
I
Yeah.
agree. I
Okay.
agree.
So I think I need Princess Leia headphones for a
I was gonna
future
say your hair
episode.
looks really puffy,
You know why?
fluffy.
Oh, okay. So,
I was
total
going to use the
side,
word.
total side conversation. This is how Dorothy and I work, right? So, the Kevin Murphy stuff you bought me for my
Uh-huh.
birthday. Jeff, what do I say every time I use it?
Do
Not my hair.
Smell my hair. You want to smell
you
my
smell
hair?
it?
Oh
Do you
my
smell
God,
it?
it smells so
Wait, does
good.
Jeff smell it? Do you smell it every time she tells you
Like
to smell it?
he doesn't anymore. Now he
Oh,
just
man.
rolls my eye. Now he just rolls his eyes. He doesn't smell it anymore. I'm gonna ask when we get together with friends later today. I'm
Ah,
gonna ask. I'm gonna ask her to smell my
I'm
hair.
warned. Oh, I
Are you
thought you
going
were
to
going to ask
continue to
me.
use it? Are you going to continue to use the Kevin
I'll
Murphy?
buy it for myself to treat myself every once in a while. I only use it like once a week, just because because literally I'm just
It,
oh,
it smells like a high end salon.
it
Um,
does.
is your hair different with it? Like, are you happy with like do you
Yeah,
notice a
I love
difference?
it. No, I
Oh,
love
okay.
it. Yeah. But okay, so and one of the spray products you gave me is just nice, kind of like beachy, gives your hair a little bit of texture. So like I have a little lift. The other stuff, the hairspray, you cannot get anything through it. Like if you want your hair not to move, that is the hairspray to buy. You can't
Wow.
get your fingers through it. You can't get a comb through it. You can't get a brush through it.
That's more like
It's
a
just
do
not
then.
moving.
That's like if you have a do then, probably like an updo or something. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Jeff, when
yeah.
you
Which
do
is
your updo, you can use
I,
that
I
on.
I'm going to borrow some.
okay. Did you all get the thing that our meeting is ending in 10 minutes? I got rid of it. Okay. Okay. All
I
right.
did.
So in thinking about growing up Polish and Catholic, when Dorothy and I were talking about getting ready to do the podcast, I this year for some this weekend for some reason it's my reunion weekend at
Oh,
the high school that I went
Oh,
to, and 40 years. Yep.
wow.
And
wow.
Wow.
and but also so we grew up going to a church called Saint Stanislaus.
This is the last weekend for it.
I
It's
know.
closing.
And it was, I mean, it was a lovely community to have. It was hard to go to church in Polish every week because eventually, like, even though we went to Polish school,
That's
your
a whole
language,
nother
that's,
podcast.
well, that's a whole several podcasts. You went to like eventually my vocabulary didn't go on
Right.
beyond a certain level. And also, as people hopefully will listen to this, when Dorothy and I speak Polish, it might not be the exact right tense or way to say it, but again,
When
for
we go to
Polish.
Poland, our relatives make fun of us because they
Yeah,
have
Yeah.
no clue what we're saying half the
Uh,
time.
yeah.
or talking like
But
babies or something.
Yeah.
yeah, but eventually it lost some of its meaning, right? Because the prayers I had memorized and I knew what they were in English, so I could translate them. But anything beyond that you listen to, I just didn't understand, right? So I just sat there bored. Plus, uh, so many of the holidays were all around the church, right? So Lent was a big time at the church, and in addition to going to the mass, when you had a very religious mother, you would stay for something called gorzkie żale, which literally
Do you think
translated is
Tata was
bitter.
that religious, or do you think she just followed along with mom?
So this is what I remember. For a while, Tata wasn't going to church with us. It was
Oh,
just the three of us.
really?
Yeah, it was just the three of us going.
Uh,
And then I think Mama had a talk with him and said, listen, the girls are going to get older. They're not going to want to go to church because you're not going to church. So we all need to be there in church. And so he started going. So I mean, I think he was, religious, believed in it, but did he even stay for gorzkie żale? I
No,
always
I
thought
just
he
remember me,
left,
you, and
right?
Ma always had to
I
go.
know, I know. So it's the three of us, and literally translated, gorzkie żale means bitter sufferings. It
And we
was,
suffered. We suffered for
and
an hour.
it was,
and
a,
yep,
it was a
end on a
lot of,
happy note.
it was a lot of lamentations. It was not the uplifting Easter music that you were going to hear that, at the end of Lent, but for kids who don't want to be there in church to begin with, to stay an extra half hour to 45 minutes afterwards,
Yeah.
that was, and like you were one of the few who stayed, probably the only
Yeah.
kids who
Yeah.
were there. So,
Well,
but
then,
we
but then
listened.
later on, it changed to remember it would be a 3 o'clock. So you actually would go home after your hour and a half mass, eat, and then you have to come back for Gush Gajal. That was even
Yeah.
worse. You'd be one of the only kids that were there. Oh, but you know what? I'm reading a book right now, and they're talking about the Knights of Columbus and talking about just Catholic. Like I used to love the Knights of Columbus when they wear their big, like those big
Hats.
caps and the swords and all that.
The
Oh
word
my
is
God, I
So,
used
the
to
word is
love
so
that.
brilliant.
Jeff is a knight, and I keep saying, like, Jeff,
Do you
when
have
is the
a
hat
do
and
you
the
have a
sword coming?
sword?
No,
Oh,
Not that
no.
you know. Not that you
well,
Yeah.
when do you get the sword? When do you get
My
the sword and the feather hat?
know. You have to earn it. And I'm not there yet.
You haven't gone to enough Goshkeshala then.
No, I have not. I just
Oh.
flip burgers. And
We do snow cones at our church, the Knights of Columbus. They
oh,
do snow cones outside the church for $1. I just give
yeah,
them $5. I don't
that
want a
sounds
snow cone.
good.
But
there was a
yeah.
picnic. There was a picnic last weekend. Jeff worked at that, making brats and burgers. And then there's a
Oh,
picnic
that's
this week.
nice.
There's a picnic this weekend, but we have something to do this evening. So Jeff's not helping on that one. But I think, I mean, for a lot of guys, I mean, I don't know what the book talks about, but for a lot of people, they're just looking for a way to help out and volunteer, right? And this is an organized way to do it.
But you know what I did love when we were growing up in the Catholic Church? Because like all our stuff, like all our social, everything was mass and church. And like we went to a Catholic school for 12
Saint
years or 8 years.
Stanislaus. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, starting at
So
Saint Stanislaus and Bishop Noel afterwards. Yep.
I did love dressing up like for Holy Thursday and doing a little
Hmm.
procession. I did secretly love doing that. Like after the whole, so if you're Catholic, there's like a big mass, the Holy Thursday, and then we get to dress up if you were like went to school there, and you got to do like a little parade around the church and your
Procession.
Easter outfits and stuff. It was so much fun. I love
Hmm.
Yeah.
incense. I
I love
love
I
incense.
love incense. Okay, so like this is a whole nother episode.
5 minutes.
All I wanted to do. Okay, so going to St. Stan's, right? So are you going to any of the stuff taking place there this weekend?
So I'll probably just go to mass on Sunday because it'll be
Okay,
like less. I'm not going to do dinner. It's kind of, I don't know. Like I don't really
I
know
know.
the parishioners and the
Light a
family.
candle for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, light a candle for us last night. No, so like actually, so a part of me for a little, like maybe a minute or two, thought about since it was actually it was probably around when Lori asked if I was going to come back for the reunion. I thought to myself, okay, it's reunion weekend and last weekend for St. Stan's, right? So does it make sense to go there? And I'm like, no, it doesn't. So I didn't. So going to St. Stan's and going to school there. Uh, I don't know how I would think of this as
And
we
we
got
got
married
married.
there. Yeah, we got married there. Dorothy
What
got
is
married
she
there.
Right.
doing?
I don't know, like, what is he doing? He's like this.
Oh.
Um, so we in sixth, seventh, and eighth grade, Dorothy, I don't know if you did any of this stuff, right? So you had to, it was sort of the expectation that you would do something of service, right? So there were three of us who would clean the church at lunchtime 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So we'd eat in the sacristy.
Who were the three?
Me, yeah. Um, and we would eat lunch in the church, and then we would like clean. I think this is where my love of candles came from because we'd have to change all the candles. We'd have to polish the marble every once in a while. But the other thing we Diane and I would do is right before holy days of obligation or holidays, we would iron like the stoles and things that the altar
What?
servers and priests would wear. I don't
Yeah.
think we ever did the linens, right? I think it was mostly like the stoles and things.
Do you think that's
I
why you
mean,
like to iron now? God gave you
oh, maybe.
Probably.
But all I ever wanted to do is I wanted to altar serve, right? Because
Yeah.
then you get to play with the incense
Yes.
and you
Like the
walk in with a
candles.
cross. I know, like the
Carry the
candles.
cross. Yeah.
So like now,
Okay.
what? We're going on tangents.
No. We're going to be shut out. So if
I
you
know,
want
2 minutes.
to,
We have 2 minutes.
or you can always schedule a follow up if you want to keep going.
Okay. All
You
right.
do
Should
what?
we?
If you do it, wrap it up now,
Okay.
and then schedule it and pick up where we left off.
There'll be a future episode about going to Catholic school and the service that we did. Okay. So things I wrote down that we're supposed to tell people: like and subscribe,
Oh. Oh,
right?
really?
Ding.
Like and subscribe as soon as I get it posted. After I do maybe a little bit of editing. I don't know that this one needed as much editing as like the
This
test
one
run.
was kind of nice. This one was
I
kind of
know
smooth.
it helps when you write stuff down.
I didn't write anything down.
And
So
Jeff,
no, I
do
thought
you have
this was
notes
really
for future
good.
episode?
I'm
Okay,
taking
good,
notes.
No, I
good.
thought this worked out nicely. And it
I
went
think
quick.
I think we could do a
Do you
food.
think anyone's going to be interested though? I'm like, oh,
I
this
don't
is
know.
good
They
to
will.
us.
I don't
I
know.
am.
When I told Melinda that I was going to that we recorded, she's like, "Is it posted? Can I listen to it?" I said, "No,
Yeah.
that was a test run. So let us do a real one, and then we'll get it posted." So
I try to talk slower. I don't know if I did.
I don't
Sorry.
think I did, but
Okay.
like I
Was it
thought
just
about it at
hard
the
to
beginning.
follow because we talk too fast, or what's the problem? Like
I
when
think part of it was we talked really fast, and it was bing, bing, bing,
Oh,
bing,
okay.
bing, bing,
Okay.
and so
Yeah,
this
we're
was a
more
little
on
more.
focus. Okay.
Yeah, this was a little more focused. So I
Okay.
think it'll
Oh
be good.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. So
Okay, cool. This worked out good.
thanks for listening.